Okay, guys, I am actually going to need your help on this. I may be putting two and two together where there is no two and two. Okay, I may be coming a bit of an alarmist, where I'm drawing conclusions where there aren't any, and I'm gonna need you to, call BS. Okay, I'm not the smartest guy on the planet. I'm not gonna get everything right. But I just saw this movie. It came out in, I believe, 1994. And after seeing this movie, I saw this article about this reporter where she's saying that Trump supporters seemed normal, but they weren't. They were maggots. They were, the mega people. They're not normal. And I, I mean, it was glaring to me. And so maybe I'm getting it wrong. And I'm trusting that you will tell me so. All right, it's Tuesday, May 7th, 2024. I'm Stuart Allister. From Fox News, ex-CNN reporter frets over dinner she had with closeted Trump supporters. Continues to haunt me. This reporter sat down with a group of people who, well, ostensibly didn't agree with her. And she frets over it. And now, on some level, you got to ask yourself, it haunts you? You're fretting over this? This doesn't make any sense. I mean, the only way that you can have that level of Trump derangement syndrome is if you have been propagandized into oblivion, and it is clear this reporter was propagandized into oblivion. All right, before we get going, why don't you wreck that like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and press that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Yeah, this is interesting to me. By the way, I think I just told you the movie I saw was Schindler's List. And after seeing that, I just saw it last night. Seeing it and then seeing this story, just maybe that's why I'm saying maybe I'm making too much of this. Ex-CNN reporter Michelle Kaczynski wrote in a Sunday social media post that she was surprised by how, quote, normal, close quote, a group of, quote, closeted, close quote, Trump supporters seemed at the dinner she attended, which she said continues to haunt her. She's haunted by this. You mean you sat down with a group of people with whom you disagree and that haunts you? Well, that level of derangement comes from being propagandized. Someone told you about us and somehow, some way, you believed it. What's worse, she was a purveyor of it. She was the one that was, breathing fire about Russia. Donald Trump he's a Russian agent. She's been propagandized into oblivion. Quote, all were well educated. She's talking about the people that she was having dinner with. They were all well educated and successful in careers. They seemed great on the surface for like an hour, but slowly, over a few drinks, they began to let slip their true mega natures. Their true mega natures. They appear to be normal, but after time, it started to slip. Krasinski, a former correspondent for both CNN and NBC News, wrote that one couple in the group wouldn't allow their kids to apply to Ivy League universities, but were weird about explaining their reasoning. Others used air quotes while talking about climate change. Quote, the others, when they realized that a few of their presence came armed with gasp actual facts, no, quickly changed the subject and nervously said they don't want to talk politics. They realized they would be eviscerated on all idiotic points, especially on the economy. Now, this is someone who has been completely and totally propagandized. She believes and she is touting that this economy is humming, that everybody is doing so well, and this is all overblown. We have facts. Do you? Do you? Because I just spent $18 on a burger and fries. Is that normal? Krasinski said it was funny how, quote, extremist, close quote, and wrong, in quotes, wrong beliefs can leak out from those who you least expect, but warned they're out there. Who's out there? You and me. That's how she sees us. We're out there. What are you talking about? We're out there. What do you mean? See, look what she says. The wrong beliefs. Do you know that your belief system is wrong? Did you know that? This dinner continues to haunt me. They all seemed so normal. When I asked the couple who were my old friends how they didn't know, they said that in their upscale Florida neighborhood, people are extremely careful not to ever broach or debate the subject. This is not healthy. This is what she's saying. It's not healthy. Hey, you got to talk to us. You got to have a debate about this. Oh, really? If people don't ever talk about these things as friends and neighbors and only live in their own warped information silos, how will they ever learn what is true or false? How will the truth ever make them consider alternatives? The allure of BS is co-opting decent minds, she wrote. Some critics mocked the anecdote, including Mark Hemingway of the Real Clear Investigations, who noted mortgage rates have tripled in the last 3 years. Is he just making that up? Am I making it up that I paid $18 for a burger and fries? I don't think I'm making it up. Now here's my point. Now, I didn't get the picture like this. I made it that way. I guess for dramatic effect. The thing that I noticed watching Schindler's List is I can only describe as incrementalism, the gradual process, the gradual progress of propaganda, particularly about one segment of society, the Jews. And it became apparent. And I believe that this is part of what the movie is trying to get across, is that the incrementalism, just pushing this and pushing that and pushing the other and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing until it's full blown, you're not normal. I mean, at some point, I believe his name is Joseph Goebbels, the minister of propaganda for Germany, had people believing that Jews were subhuman. All for propaganda. It was all a lie. And for those of you out there who don't understand it, a Jew is just as human as you, and there is no exception. Now, one of the most interesting episodes, I guess, in this movie, which I wasn't expecting, is this one particular sadistic, I guess a colonel or whatever, is running this camp, for Jews. And it turns out that one of his servants, a female, he is attracted to. No, just stick with me here. When he finds her attractive, he's trying to reconcile the propaganda with the reality. You see, reality always wins. Sure, you can be propagandized into believing that raising your minimum wage to $20 would be good for you. You could be propagandized into believing that. However, the reality that you're going to lose your job, the business is going to move out of the state, or they're just going to reduce your hours, that's the reality. The propaganda is what got you to vote for those morons. The reality is what got you fired. You see, and in this movie, I can see that he was trying to reconcile. How could I be attracted to a vermin? How could I possibly be attracted to this rat? You don't look like a rat. A rat doesn't make me feel this way. And he surmises that it must be part of the Jew spell. Thanks to Joseph Goebbels, and he believes it. It's part of this spell that they can put on you. These Jews, I've seen it work. You can't trust them. You can't trust one of them. They put this hex on you. Maybe it's that. Never surmising, no. It's just that you really, really are attracted to her. And there's no amount of propaganda that is going to undo or untangle that wannabe tie. That's what's happening. And you can't reconcile the two. And it drives him bananas. I mean, and this is one of the more sadistic, Nazis. I mean, he's like, it didn't matter if they were a kid, if they're the elderly, woman, he's just shooting him in the head. Why? Well, he'd been propagandized into believing that they are subhuman, yet he finds himself strangely attracted. Why? Because chemistry is actually real. That's why I tell people, particularly married people, hey man, you have to actually watch who you hang out with, because chemistry is real. Chemistry doesn't give a crap about your religion. Chemistry doesn't care about your belief or disbelief in God. Chemistry is real. Why do you think these actors who get together and they do these movies together and then all of a sudden you hear, months later that they all got divorces? Because they had real chemistry with that person. Chemistry can't be faked. And it was clear in this instance where, sorry, you are in the company of someone with whom you are inextricably attracted to, and there's nothing you can do about it. And he's having to reconcile that with the propaganda. I'm bringing this to you because this woman you see on your screen, Well, she's not just the everyday woman. She's hanging out with the well-to-dos. She's hanging out with the people who, well, ostensibly make the rules. She's part of the elite. She's telling you what's what. And she just told you, I'm not normal. Me, Stuart, I'm not normal. I may appear to be normal, but I'm not. If you are a Trump supporter, if you are an America First person, that you are not normal. That somehow, some way we're out here. Now, the one thing that I could tell you, and I don't think you can dispute it, is we have been propagandized against, not by people that are out here or in the media, but by this administration, where we have been called every name in the book. I'm not getting that wrong. And what struck me about the movie is how incremental the abuse was. They didn't start out in gas chambers. They didn't start out there. But eventually they got there. And I want to make this point as well, because because it could get lost. And man, I'm really going long on this. Okay. The Jews were propagandized ostensibly because of their belief. Am I wrong? That somehow, some way, the Jews had been unfairly targeted because of what they believe. Now, you should understand this. I don't know that I believe it's in this book, My Conversations with the Christ. It's the third in the Damon Black trilogy. In this book, this one, I did really a deep dive into Martin Luther. For those of you who don't know, he led the Protestant Reformation. He is famous for nailing the 95 Theses on the church's door, saying that these are the arguments that I have against you. Let's debate. And it turns out Martin Luther was a raging anti-Semitic. Now, for those of you who don't believe me, and that's fine, but he was a raging anti-Semitic. In fact, he had put out a book called Of the Jews and Their Lies. And in this book, I believe it had 7 chapters, and he outlined what should be done about these Jews. Guess what he said? You should burn their artifacts. That came from Martin Luther. Burn their artifacts. You should not allow them to work in, civil occupation, teaching and the like. And for those of you who are not putting 2 and 2 together, he was a German. That's why you see all those Lutheran churches. Hang on a second, because it's been so long since I actually wrote this. I want to make sure that I'm getting this right. There was a yes. I believe he was a German monk. And so when a group are singled out by a raging anti-Semitic, which Martin Luther was. Now, I'm some that some of you are going, no, Stuart, no, no, no. Yes. Now, if you don't believe me, go do your own research. He absolutely was a hardcore. Okay. Just anyway. Now, that being said, I don't know that he would abdicate gassing them. But there's no doubt in my mind he set the tone. He set the tone. Okay. The Nazis just played the song. And so am I putting two and two together where there is no two and two? Am I drawing therefores where there are no therefores to draw? Because when I look at her, this normal person who is a hoity-toity, hobnobbing with, the top of the top in our elite society, and she has been propagandized into oblivion to believe that somehow there's something wrong about my belief system, I think there is some sort of incrementalism going here. It's just little by little that we are being propagandized against. So much so, for those of you who don't believe it, go follow Donald Trump right now and see what he's going through. And then you tell me we're not being propagandized. All right. You can leave your comments. If I'm getting it wrong, that's fine. But it really struck me after seeing Schindler's List, and obviously I'm not saying that we are suffering that fate, but the same spirit is still in control. I'll leave it at that. Okay, that's it for now. Hey, if you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe. If you're following me on Rumble, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.